My name is Jena Bjertness. I am the Director of Market Development for the North Dakota Soybean Council. So this year in North Dakota, we had a spring that was friendly to planting, and we got in the field in good time. What we haven't quite been able to benefit from is the lack of moisture. So part of what got us into the field in the spring was a lack of moisture. We had a mild winter, but we just really haven't seen those rains come since then. So North Dakota is very dry. If you look on the Drought Monitor, North Dakota is in one of the worst conditions in terms of drought for the soybean growing area. And so in a year where we have record acres planted, we see 7.2 million acres planted in North Dakota for this coming year, and that's the most we've ever seen. We would hope to expect a record harvest, but we'll really have to see the impacts of this drought. At this point, it's just impossible to tell what to expect. We need to see what happens within the next 6 weeks here to get an idea of what our crop size may be, even with those record acres that we have. And we've heard people say, you know, it doesn't matter how great your plants look if they don't fill pods. And so that's really where we're looking for the next stage here, to see those plants that have made it seemingly okay through the drought. Will they fill pods, and what will the condition of that be? You know, the USDA crop progress reports that come out, they do show condition to be below what we would normally see. And so that's not to be unexpected with the drought conditions we're having. We're just really at that point where we need to see those plants that are alive, are they going to put on and fill pods? Today we're sitting in Fargo, and that's in the Red River Valley. So in the state, the Red River Valley is probably best off when it comes to soybeans. Where we are really seeing just some tough moisture conditions would be in kind of the northwest, north central area of the state. You were at Mike Langseth's today. Where he's at is probably one of the best growing regions for soybeans right now in the state. The further west you go, the more drought you will see. The majority of our acres would be on the more eastern side of the state. And so the majority of our acres would be in a bit of a better drought condition than the western side of the state, where there's less soybeans grown. I guess if there is any upside or any thing to be optimistic about, it's that our primary soybean growing regions are still dry, but seem to be least dry in the state. Every year we do a quality report in North Dakota. It's something that we as the council fully invest in. It's a state of North Dakota quality survey. Farmers voluntarily participate across the state, and we do it to get a handle on the quality of our crop. So I think in this drought year, people are going to be very interested to see that North Dakota soybean quality survey. And one of the parameters that we measure, in addition to crude protein, are those essential amino acids that I'm sure most of our buyers have heard that messaging, that we find so important and such a superior quality measurement than crude protein. And so I'm hoping by January, I have that report in hand by January 2022, and I have those answers. But typically North Dakota soybeans are higher in those essential amino acids than more southern states. So we may be similar to Minnesota, similar to South Dakota, but northern beans tend to have higher essential amino acids than southern grown. And so it will be very interesting with the drought this year to see what that does to the quality in terms of essential amino acids of the North Dakota crop. We've been working a long time, since before I worked here at the North Dakota Soybean Council, for a crush plant to come into the state. So the crush plant that's proposed is being proposed by ADM, and that will be built in Spiritwood, North Dakota. So it's not far from the Red River Valley. The soybeans can easily get there. It's also on the BNSF rail line, and so it's an industrial park that's been used previously for other commodities, so it should be well positioned. So currently, as of today, we have very limited crush. There's one crush plant that is primarily for sunflowers but they can switch to soybeans when it's economically feasible. So we have extremely limited crush in the state. We are mostly a whole soybean export market when it comes to North Dakota soybeans. And so we are very excited to have news that we will have a crush plant coming online. I believe they are targeting to take beans in fall of 2022, and that crush plant will have capacity for about 25% of our state's soybean crop. So that's going to open doors considerably for our farmers in terms of options to sell their beans that they have not had before.